Hello and welcome back to Devolution Magazine In Conversation with Graphic Nature. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Very good, very good. Still reading because the album's only been out a week, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. Now, I want to kick this off by saying, the last time we met each other in an interview, I remember some of the band saying they don't really listen to very much heavy metal when they're off the clock, if you like. So how is it you've come back with such a heavy record, man? It's heavy as hell.
Probably angrier than we were a year ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the good thing is Pete's always writing and he's always like trying new things. And I think with this record, it was the first time we've worked with not worked with Spice. We worked with Spice on the first record, but we found samples on Spice that we liked and then wrote a song around that sample, and we found that really helped, like in general. But I don't know. I don't feel like we're ever going to lose the heaviness. But
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, because the electronic side of what you do, speaking as a bass music producer myself, is very well informed. It's not like a lot of bands who like chuck it on as like a bit of seasoning on the track. They think, oh, it could do with some ravey bits.
Yeah.
It's like you actually do know where you're coming from with your basses and all your tonality and all that sort of stuff. It's pitch perfect. So you can tell you do listen to electronic music, and that comes through in spades. Especially speaking as, I mean, it's been one of my big bugbears for years.
Yeah.
That metal bands not getting dance right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I remember you saying last year that you liked it, and like a lot of the feedback we got off the first record were people wanted more of the kind of electronic elements, and that was always the plan anyway. So when we done this record, it was a lot of like, should this go into a song? And we were like, oh, I don't know. And then we were like, do we like it? And it was like, yeah, we do. And it's like, well, then it's going in.
Absolutely.
We have to do it. So
they're the only rules, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like your only boss is the song. If it makes the song better, then you've pleased your boss, haven't you?
Exactly.
So when I noticed you fully embraced this, I think it was on Fractured, and it's the second part of that, and it goes full on Chasing Status.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man, they're honestly they're bringing it, because drum and bass is a hard thing to get right, even if you just do drum and bass.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So that was.
I think that's why we like that kind of genre of music so much, is because you can add drum and bass and jungle, and like, even on some of the other tracks we've got like almost like liquid drum and bass bits. It's like metal, isn't it? There's so many different genres of the thing, and people think like, oh, if you listen to drum and bass, it's one kind of thing. There's so many different fucking things out there, and I've just been swearing without realising that.
No, that's fine.
Easy.
It's fine. But yeah, I often say that drum and bass and metal have got a lot in common. You're just playing different instruments.
Yeah.
The tempos, the intensity, the bass, definitely, and especially with bands like yourself and Vexed, bands who obviously know their low end theory, like who can really utilise that chunkiness. I think a good knowledge of electronic music really will serve you well.
Yeah, I mean that's all Pete. I can't take any credit for that. He moulds it all. He knows what he's doing. So.
Right. So thematically, what are the themes running through this record? Because your first album was a very deep look into mental health, things like that. Where are we going in the second album?
So the second album is about my whole year in review, basically. At the start of the year, just before, I think it was either just before or just after My Mate Today came out, I got randomly attacked on the tube on the way home, and that left me feeling emasculated and left me with PTSD, which I never thought I would ever get, because I thought like, the idea of it to me sounded so silly, like you're scared of something that has already happened. Like how is this supposed to work? And then when I was going through all of this, and it's just like you kind of lose your sense of self, and I stopped being able to get on trains. I stopped being able to listen to music while I was like walking on the street. Always thought like people were following me. Always thought like I could never trust any kind of people and shit. So it's all about that like situation that happened to me, and everything that I have just written down over those kind of 6 to 8 months really. And then like building up to the end track, where it's kind of more of an acceptance of what's going on, and like I understand now why I'm feeling this way, and ideally in the next year I'd like to be better off. Shit, it fucking takes its toll. I didn't realise, but yeah man.
But luckily you've got art to as your outlet.
For sure.
You know, because a lot of kids don't have that and they end up drugs, what have you.
Yeah.
You can see how it happens.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I think that one of the great things that to come from graphic literature, I know you're big advocates for mental health charities and stuff like that, and I think it's good as just a sign that it's okay to be angry, you know.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be angry, here's a really cool way to be angry.
Yeah.
You know. Just.
I think more than anything, I think it's more about honesty than being angry. Like it's good to be aware of your feelings and like being able to talk about them. It's so fucking important. But you know, some people do it through poetry and some people do it through like talking to their friends. My way of doing that is like playing this fucking music with my best friends.
Yeah.
And just singing about shit that's happened to me and shit that's real. It's not about some fucking, you know, there's no metaphors in the music. There's no fucking like made up stories and shit. It's just like, I'm fucking struggling. This is what's happening. Fuck you. I'm gonna be better.
It's raw.
Yeah,
it's raw, and that's what I love about it. It's very direct, and it's gained you so many fans in the last year since we last met. I mean, how has it been like watching that rise? Because it has been a rise.
I never really see it. It's really hard to take a look at things from the outside in, because we're always worrying about like, oh, what's next? What we're going to be doing next? And I think that's almost the curse of a musician. Like you've always got a goal to reach, but then when you've reached that goal, it's almost like you're waiting for the next hit, and the next hit has to be better. It's almost like fucking drugs, man.
Yeah.
But in terms of like this tour, for instance, like when we done a headline tour last year, these shows were only a quarter full, and then you know we played Southampton 2 years ago to fuck all people. I think there was 0 pre-sale, 0 on the tour. We played to the bar. Whoever was tending bar. Yesterday it was sold out completely. It was like 200 odd people. Just it's insane because like now it's finally like kind of clocking in a bit with me, and I'm like, oh shit, maybe we are, you know, making a bit of a difference, and people are like, you know, enjoying this shit, and it's cool, and it's really nice to see that people give a fuck enough to come out on like a Monday and shit. So,
right, because.
Really cool.
Yeah, I mean, and there's been strength in numbers with the UK scene becoming quite like sort of consolidated these days. It's like friendships popping up with bands all the time. Notably yourselves and Dream State, yourselves and Vex as well. You know, and it's been great. It's like a united front.
Yeah, I think because metal was dead in the water for a long time, and now that we're all kind of coming up together, there's always such a fucking egotistical shit that goes on with certain bands, and I like to keep the level-headed ones quite close, because it's nice to be surrounded by people that think the same way as you and think like, you know, it is a fucking struggle, because you know it's like trying to grab the fucking golden ticket from Willy Wonka. Like everyone wants it, but no one's willing to help. Like, you know, we could all get it, but it just takes a bit more time.
Absolutely.
Like, rather than making friends and then dropping them when you get bigger.
Yeah.
Like, let's just fucking bring everyone up. Like,
yeah.
If I wanted like Vex to come out with us, I will ask Vex to come out first before we ask any other band.
Yeah, right.
Because, you know, they've been there since the start with us, and like he's worked with them loads of times, and I can never like talk bad about Vex, because like no matter what, they're gonna be you know, coming up with us. Not that we're bigger than them or they're bigger than us. It's like we're just on a level, and it's just gonna go up and up and up. And I'm really excited to see.
Absolutely.
Because their album was fucking awesome. I love the fucking album. Sick record. Yeah, it's like I was talking to the lads from Majested, and they were saying, and it's a phrase that stuck with me since that interview, which was, a rising tide raises all ships. Yeah.
And the deathcore scene, whatever you think of it, it's very good at doing that with the big multi-band bills and stuff like that, and they all seem to benefit.
Yeah,
if one band does well, they all tend to benefit a bit. So I think that's a great thing about metal these days. And you're right. Last summer in particular, I did see a changing of the guard in British metal, where there was this just whole batch of new bands who were just like raising the game right up.
It's getting there.
Absolutely, man.
I'm trying to set the old heads for it now. You've had your time.
Clock out. So after this tour, what you got? You got Radar next week, aren't you?
Yeah, so the tour ends with Radar, and then we've got about 3 weeks off, and then we hit the HMAs, Have Music Awards.
Oh yeah, right.
So we
I'll see you
perform that, and we're up for 2 awards, which is really cool.
That's sick.
And then I think the day after we've got like a headliner at Tunbridge Wells Forum, which is like a hometown show for like the rest of the boys.
Yeah.
So like, London would be a hometown show for me, but for them it's Tunbridge Wells. So it's that'll be cool. And then after that, I don't know. Oh, we got Burn It Down Festival. I think that's August.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's Portsmouth, right?
Fucking Torquay.
Torquay, sorry. No, yeah.
Further, man.
Somewhere down south.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, well, thank you so much for talking to me today, mate. And
sorry, my hands
I
are
will,
sweaty.
and I will definitely be seeing you at Harvey Music Awards. I'll be shouting you on.
Let's go.
All right.
That's right, bro.
Take care.
For having me again, man.
No problem.